Oh man, there was this video of Aspen Gold. He was watching this Nickelodeon director. It was insane.
Do you love getting high, but smoking hurts your lungs? I've got you covered. You need to try these Delta 9 gummies.
Here we go.
This is insane.
And the camera was. That was amazing. That was one of the better things I've ever heard.
Hey!
Hi, what's going on here?
Nothing. You didn't cut out that part.
Why are you sitting on the floor of the set?
Because we are.
That didn't seem super weird to me. I guess
No, it wasn't. It wasn't bad. I mean, so, but it wasn't too bad.
I didn't.
Dan Schneider. If you grew up watching Nickelodeon,
Yeah,
there's a
I
high
don't-
chance you've heard stories about the infamous Dan Schneider. Dan got his start in the entertainment industry in the 80s. After
Okay.
attending Harvard for just one semester, he
Oh.
moved back home to Memphis to work on computers.
Go ahead and talk to Jerry. I'm sure he's gonna have some super intelligent things to say. Really, really witty. Go, Jerry.
There's no way that's true. I went to Harvard. Harvard. Not really.
This was ultimately
Uh-huh.
short-lived, and he would abandon his job with the goal of making it big in Hollywood. He
Okay.
packed up his bags and moved to Los Angeles, California to
Well, he did make it big.
So he did what streamers do and YouTubers do. All right. Okay. You can see this.
jumpstart his acting career. Dan Schneider starred in movies such as Better Off Dead, The Big Picture, and Hot Resort. And although
Okay.
the movies may have performed well in the box office, it was apparent that the big screen was not his medium. His portrayal as Dennis Blunden in ABC's Head of the Class would bring clarity to Dan Schneider. He was going to dominate television. Instead of acting, Dan began to write, produce, and create shows
Okay.
such as All That, Keenan and Kel, The Amanda
watched
Show,
that one.
Zoe 101,
I watched that one. Didn't watch
Victorious,
that one.
Drake and Josh,
Nope.
and Sam and Cat.
Nope.
He's quoted as the most successful writer and TV executive in children's entertainment.
Man, he had a lot of
for the
bangers.
last 30 years. In the history of
Okay.
self-reports, Dan Schneider has to be leading the charge. A full-grown man has plastered his entire career with his foot fetish.
That's so weird to me. Like you're showing the world your foot fetish. Like little kids are watching this.
Dan Schneider
Yeah, it's weird.
has deleted over
It's weird.
14,000 tweets. That included the words child, foot, and toes. Almost all of Dan
Smart.
Schneider's shows include aspects of
Look
physical
at that.
comedy, including feet. After all, feet are funny. They're silly. Doesn't everyone just love feet? No. Dan Schneider and feet are inseparable. One simply cannot exist without the other. In fact, entire meme compilations have been made about his foot fetish. There is a dark cloud of silence surrounding Nickelodeon's past horrors. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Nickelodeon's dialogue coach Brian Peck and Dan Schneider hosted scouting events for new talent.
What
These
the
events would
fuck?
include taking your shoes off and participating
Was that Leonardo DiCaprio?
in camp-like activities such as tennis or swimming. Revenge of the Cis podcast has
What?
been relentlessly investigating Dan Schneider over the years. And according to an anonymous child
What the
actor
fuck?
who attended one of these scouting calls, parents were separated from children to attend a seminar in order to meet agents, while the kids were
That's not
scouted
good.
at the pool. And these kids were aged 13 to 22.
Yeah,
He's like,
that's
you gotta
not
just
good.
take off your shoes, just like run around in front of the camera, talk about how much you love being barefoot. And at the time, even, it was like,
You don't think much of it.
okay, that's weird, but I didn't
Yeah, you don't
think
really
anything
think
of
much.
it 'cause I was still young.
Exactly.
Right.
So what would happen is that your parents would
Because that's the thing, yeah. Because people don't even realize it's a.
send
What the
you
fuck?
to sort of
Yeah.
like this camp. It was basic acting classes, and it was an opportunity for the kids to get discovered. And interestingly enough, most of the kids got discovered by the pool.
Brian Peck was later charged with 11 accounts of sexual assault with a minor named John Doe in court documents.
11.
11 counts. This man had to have gotten locked up like for a long time. Ain't no way you gonna get convicted of 11 counts and even ever see a slimmer of daylight.
Holy shit!
That's
Although the identity
insane.
of the 15-year-old minor has never been confirmed, in fear that it would damage the young star's career, speculations on the internet have swirled around since this case. According
Who
to
knows?
yet another anonymous source, the minor at the time was allegedly Drake Bell. It is impossible to ever know if this is true or not,
Yeah.
but the internet seems convinced. Brian Peck was convicted in 2000.
I mean, the only way to know if it's true or not is if Drake Bell says it's true. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that.
2004 and served 16 months in prison.
Holy
After his release,
So
he was-
this
That's
isn't
it?
like
Just
some
16
sort of
months?
weird, like, put together the pieces online thing.
No, this is legit, Asman.
This fucking
This is legit.
was like the law and shit.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, this actual like court documents. Like what
Yeah.
the fuck? Like,
It's
I
wild.
didn't even think about this at all.
So wild.
That's scary. This is real as it gets.
That's why I be telling you, Hollywood is so dark. So dark. In fact, really, in theory, there shouldn't be kid actors and actresses because of how dark it is.
Yeah.
never allowed to work near children ever again, right?
probably a good
no,
idea. Wait.
Disney hired him to work on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Why?
Oh my God.
Why?
And you're watching Disney Channel.
See, it's just stuff like that. It makes zero sense to me. Like, why would you give this guy another job?
An article from the LA Times in 2002
Oh my-
named Groomed to Be All That details how child actors were media trained and prepped on how to deal with their unordinary life by Nickelodeon. They would carry pamphlets and attend workshops so they knew how to deal with news outlets.
That's smart.
See, that's
reporters,
good.
and
That's
fans.
good.
Yeah, that's
it
smart.
highlights Nickelodeon's awareness of the dystopian work environment these kids were thrown into.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oftentimes thrust into the spotlight by adults.
Oh man,
don't have-
Amanda. She was hit hard. She was hit hard with Hollywood. She was one of the ones that unraveled.
Their best interest in mind. But let's talk about problems that we can avoid, which is why today's video is sponsored by Keeps. Keeps is a subscription service that helps men keep their hair. They offer clinically proven
Asman-
treatments that help combat the symptoms of hair loss.
I swear,
Delivered
me and
to your
Asman the
doorstep.
same,
You don't
man.
even have to leave your house. Best of all, Keeps treatment plans are affordable, typically half the cost of pharmacy prices. With Keeps, you can get quality, expert care without ever visiting a doctor's office or
It's not a targeted ad, guys. Like he got a sponsorship. It's not targeted. It's just there.
Yeah.
It's just
pharmacy.
a coincidence.
You're also getting 24/7 care and support.
Come on.
Each treatment plan comes with a full year of unlimited messaging, so you can connect with your prescribing doctor about anything, anytime. 2 out of 3 guys will experience hair loss before the age of 35, but don't worry. Keeps has you covered. In addition to clinically proven treatments, Keeps has an award-winning all-natural thickening shampoo and conditioner system. Keeps physicians will help you select the right products and treatments for your specific condition and hair goals.
I bet they
hair
will.
loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/Philion or click the link in the description. That's KEEPS.com/Philion.
Holy fuck,
And thank
man.
you to Keeps for sponsoring this video. Under Dan Schneider's writing and
Bro, like that.
directing, girls were overtly sexualized.
Whoa,
time
why
and
is
time
he-
again.
See, it's these photos that do it for me, man. Like, what are you doing hugging these young people like that?
The footage is haunting and disgusting, and by today's standards, it's almost ancient. The
They'll give today's standard. They'll probably get flagged.
dichotomy of growing up watching Nickelodeon and reviewing this footage is eerie. It includes gratifying his obvious foot fetish, along with adult references that a child or young adult should not
See, and here's the thing with that, because you see that Disney had some subliminal messages, things like that, right? So it's adults just making things for children, right? There's going to be adult references because they're adults who's making it, right? Which was crazy because there was a lot of kids shows and kids movies that I've seen where there were so many subliminal messages in it, right? And it just went over my head, and I watch it now. It's like, dang, this was really in here?
Have to perform.
Yeah, it's insane.
Considering the power dynamic.
Like, there's one scene in Toy Story. Oh, man. We'll get there. We'll
Of an
get there.
executive producer and actor. Remember, this is pre-Me Too, when the culture surrounding predation in Hollywood was even more secretive. All this to say that social
Yeah,
media
that's true.
campaigns or exposés would have fizzled out or would have been dealt with, if you catch
Yeah.
my drift. In 2010, Nickelodeon hosted a website called The Slap, where
Never heard
actors
of
from
this.
their most popular shows
Okay.
would post and interact with the media hosted on the site. Now, it redirects to Nick.com after Dan Schneider left Nickelodeon in 2018. One of the most disturbing pieces of content featured on The Slap was Ariana Grande or Cat Valentine from Sam and Cat being forced to perform vile acts that only a demented man would greenlight.
So now, just for fun, I'm gonna say 3 sentences that I bet not one person has ever said before in the history of mankind. Sentence number 1. Oh man, my uvula got stuck between that hamster's toes. See?
The fuck?
Could never happen, because your uvula is that swingy thing in the back of your throat right here. Sentence number 3. Ah! I'm soaking wet! Quick, somebody bring me the ocean! No one would ever say that. Why? Because if you were soaking wet and you were upset about it, the last thing you'd want is for somebody to bring you the ocean.
What the
Because
fuck?
the ocean is even more wet than even the wettest person in the world. Have you ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out.
I could not do that.
That's-
Like, I straight up could not do that.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
What the fuck?
Is it possible for a teenage girl
That's
to drink
weird.
water upside down? I'm thirsty.
Oh, hell no.
God.
Oh. Oh my god. Are you serious? Like, okay, so here's the thing. Right? Oh my, I can't believe this. Why would somebody greenlight this? Right? This is shown to little kids. Now I get, okay, if one of these was on here and if like one of those was on there with another one, okay, that's I don't know, that's weird, right? But if you have multiple weird shit like that, that's not a coincidence. You know, like that is purposeful right there. This man is purposely telling her to do those things because he has a weird fetish and he's a sick man. Fuck me, man. That's just, oh my god. That's just so crazy to me, man.
Oh my god.
It's not possible.
Bro, what
That's,
the fuck?
look at that. That's crazy to me.
This has been me
That's-
in a video.
That's so weird.
Come on, give up the juice.
That's
Dan Schneider goes by Dan Warp on his
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
God.
Like, what the fuck?
I know.
Yeah, when she stops, like, that's... Dude, I thought this was gonna just be, like, some fucking dumb shit. I didn't... Yeah, get this man in jail. This is too much. Yeah, that's, like... that's disturbing to even watch, man. It's... Yeah, it's, like, makes you uncomfortable to even see it. Is this TOS? I mean, I don't think this is TOS. If they're gonna suspend me for this, they're fucking stupid. Like, this is a legitimate thing, man. It's like, I could see, like, maybe one of these being innocuous, but, like, all of the rest of these are just...
So, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Fucking, like...
But when it's back-to-back like that...
It's like any person, any adult would see this and think that it's fucking weird.
It's
weird. You know, like...
Yeah.
All the rest of them are just like, yeah, I got a line for it. Yeah, it's intentional. Yeah, it's like if one of... Like, for example, like, if one of those was in there... It'd be like, okay, that's weird, you know, maybe cut that
that's
out
what I was
and like
thinking,
rerun or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, just don't, you know, like, you just kind of write it off. But like, there are so many of them that are fucking weird.
It's not a coincidence,
Make me so fucking uncomfortable. Yeah, I know, it's brutal. And like, the thing is, I know that some people said it's like, you know, the Quentin Tarantino thing with like the foot fetish in like his movies.
But no, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's okay, right? Quentin Tarantino, right? He made movies for who? Grown ass people, right? That, like, shut up. Like, there's nothing more you can say about that. You know, his audience is grown people, adults who get references and stuff like that. But Dan Snyder's audience are legit little kids. You see the difference in that?
That's completely fucking different, and why anybody who's equating these is an idiot. It's because the people, the actors that are doing it are fucking full-grown adults, and also the audience is full-grown adults. These are R-rated movies. This is for fucking kids, man. It was very uncomfortable. Yeah, this is really, really bad, man. Holy fucking shit. Was she 18?
It does that. See, that's where they're missing it, right? It's yes, I get why you asked about the age, right? But you got to think about it deeper, right? It's not about how old the person is doing the video. It's about the audience who's watching it, right? If you're on a show like Disney or Nickelodeon, right? Your main audience is little kids. That's it. It doesn't matter about the person's age, you know, because the people who are majority, like, looking at your stuff are kids.
I don't know. I think maybe she was, maybe she wasn't.
No, I don't. I actually think she probably was underage, though. She probably not underage. She was probably 15, 16 probably when she did that.
Even if she was 18, it's very clear that this is...
Let me see. It's got a text.
being done. It's still, she's 17, 16. Like I feel like you can, this, yeah, sure. It's like a gray area spectrum, but like it's all, none of it is clean. You see what I'm saying? Like, none of it's clean. Even if you think that, like, oh, it's not that bad because she was 18. Yeah, all right, she's 19.
Who's
like,
the
yeah,
audience?
okay, but like,
Right.
she's portrayed as a teenage girl. Number one. Number two, the audience is teenage girls. Like, it's Nickelodeon, so you know, it's a kids show. Like, so like, even if it, like, I'll give you that. Like, it's still fucking perverse, man. Oh my god.
100%. It is 100%
25 is
perverse.
fucked up. Yeah, it's just wow.
Social media accounts. He has since deleted over 20 million
Good.
views of videos from his YouTube channel and curiously updated his playlists years after his
Private.
involvement with Nickelodeon, pointed out by fellow YouTuber Sloan. Miranda Cosgrove from iCarly has weird clips of Dan touching her and awkward interactions with the production crew. It's definitely inappropriate and bizarre.
See, that's
criminal.
weird.
No one can really say for sure.
She say nice things about me? Because I will tase her if necessary.
This game
You're not ready for it.
See, like, the thing is that if you said that, like, I would make that joke about somebody, like, yeah, sure, it's a joke. It's kind of like, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me a lot of the Bored Apes thing. Yeah, it's just a joke, like, who gives a fuck, right? And it's only bad in the context of everything else. Do you see kind of what I'm saying? Is it like that's how these things happen? Is that they happen, and this is like maybe, it's like if you look at it with the lens of him being a predator, it's immediately fucking horrible, right? It's immediately horrible. But like if you're just seeing like, oh, it's just maybe just two people having a laugh, it's whatever, right? And that's how it goes by. Yeah, that's how it gets by right there.
That makes sense.
Too many coincidences? Yeah, well, it's obviously not.
It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence.
Taser. We haven't had to use it in a long time. But
I said lots of nice things.
No, I said nice things about you.
Oh.
That's going to get on TV. That's going to get on TV.
Okay, all right. After seeing more of the full clip, that's fucking weird, even without the context. Yep, all right. That is... I very rarely cringe, but I came really close. Yeah, I came very close. Holy shit.
Jeanette McCurdy, or Sam from iCarly, and later Sam and Cat.
She actually quit acting, right? And she wrote like this diary or whatever they call it. Haven't read it. I just remember them talking about it, and she was like on TV talking about it. And I want to say she was talking like how negative it was in Hollywood, especially being in Hollywood as a kid actor, and pretty much what psychological damage Dan Snyder did to her.
Quit acting and looks negatively on her acting career as a whole. She is the definition of a product of the toxic work environment and abuse she details receiving while working as a child actor.
Hey, Dan Schneider. I know you're watching my Vine. Do you like my Vine? Vine. Look what you've done to me.
She would later find her plate.
Yeah, so... Yeah. Imagine seeing that. Right? Back then in the Vine days. Where... That just gives me like Britney vibes right there. Britney Spears. She went crazy.
Behind the camera, working as a producer and director. Both.
That's fucking weird, man. Like, you know what that reminds me a lot of? Is, remember whenever there were like all those celebrities that would joke about Harvey Weinstein before it came out that all of it was real? And like you go back and you see the jokes and it's like, wait a second. Yeah, wait a second. Like, bro, like that actually wasn't a joke. The Bill Cosby? I didn't see any of the Bill Cosby ones.
So it's pretty much facts, speaking facts within a joke, right? Because they have to play it off as a joke because it helps them cope with things.
Both Miranda Cosgrove and Jeanette McCurdy did not attend the Kids' Choice Awards in 2014, while Dan Schneider won a Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2019, she released a teaser called He Touched Me for a loose autobiography that she was making. This left the internet both disturbed and interested in who she was referencing. One theory is that her brother in this clip alludes to Dan Schneider.
There's a lot of abuse that happens. I worked with an incredibly emotionally abusive producer.
I wish. I don't want to sue them.
Like, I mean, even talking about it now, my face gets hot thinking it.
The other theory...
I feel like... I can never tell somebody, like, what they should or shouldn't do. But I would say that it's, especially in a situation like this, like you can never really say like, oh, what you should or shouldn't do, because like it's about like if they're comfortable and like everything like that. But like, man, would it make a lot of people's lives easier if you said what it was?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, think about how many people that like
there's no guessing game
that got saved from people coming out about Harvey Weinstein, for example. You know, like, I mean, you gotta. It's true, yeah, exactly. Like it would really, it's. it's so scary though. Yeah, because you don't want to get like blacklisted. You don't want that person to like make you look bad or whatever. They're afraid for their own safety. They could kill you. Yeah, I mean, so that's why I said I can't really say that. But but I mean, what I'm saying is right though, isn't it? That it would be a lot easier for a lot more people if she said what it really was. You know, like, but it's not my right to tell her what she can and can't say or shouldn't say.
Is that this clip portrays a similar scene when she was in Law & Order SVU. It's also worth noting that Jeanette McCurdy is not part of the very successful iCarly reboot. She has even stated that she is ashamed of the role she played in the original iCarly. Amanda Bynes easily has the strangest and darkest story regarding Nickelodeon. She
Bro, I
met
used
Dan
to watch
Schneider
the Amanda
at
Show.
10 years old on the set of All That, and would go on to get her own spin-off show called The Amanda Show.
Yeah, I used to watch this.
Bynes
Amanda
is
Show
a
was
child star who lacked a relationship with her parents. It seemed as if she was just the breadwinner for the family, and that's all they cared about. She was quoted asking for breaks
I feel like her parents stole her money though too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
because she was working so much. She developed eating disorders and was even medicated at a young age to help her deal with her problems such as dissociation, hiding her true self behind the character she played. In other words,
That's so
acting
crazy.
was her way to cope with reality. At 16,
Bro, that is some fucking.
It's dark,
that is
man.
some bad shit. Yeah, it's like that's awful, man. It's the issue with non-reporting. Yeah, exactly. Like, bro, I like you, but you're not seeing the whole picture in the whole industry, sir. Politics, etc. Well, I'm like, there's not. What do you mean? I'm not saying, like, what am I not understanding here? I understand this completely. Like, this is not hard to understand. The reason why these stories are so compelling is because of the fact that they are easy to understand. Yeah, probably an anti-Semite. Oh, because it's the Jews that are in control, right? Yeah, I mean, that could be it. I don't know. But in general, whenever I look at shit like this, it is crazy to see how bad some people get treated. It is absolutely awful. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, guys, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, listen, if you have, like, this agenda you want to fucking push, don't expect me to go off and fight for your fucking agenda, okay? Blizzard's giving out Storehelm Transmogs as Prime Loot? No, I'll look at that after this. This is so hard to watch? Yeah, it is. This is fucking scary, man.
Yeah, it's very
Amanda wanted
dark.
to be emancipated from her parents, meaning she could live her life independently without them. And during this period in her life, she would spend increasing amounts of time with Dan Schneider. An article claiming that she was going to live with Dan Schneider and his wife was removed from the
That's
internet
not good.
in 2003.
That's
in
not good.
2014, at the age of 26 years old, Amanda Bynes was put in a conservatorship by her family. Since then, there have been outbursts from her Twitter alleging serious abuse from her father, but nothing has happened. There is also speculation that potential abuse
I need to tell the truth about my dad. I will not be manipulated or brainwashed by anyone, so let me live my own life free of unhappiness and misery. Call me what you want. Please don't call me crazy or insane, because that's a joke. And like, that's the thing, right, is like, maybe it wasn't really her dad, but like, you know, she was making the family a lot of money, so the dad knew about the bad stuff, and he was like, oh, it's okay. You know, like, well, it's worth it because, you know, we're going to be
Because they're
rich.
getting paid money,
Something
yeah.
like that. You see kind of what I'm saying? Like, it could be a lot of different
That's so
things
messed up.
besides just, like, him being an abuser. Holy fuck, man.
from a father figure means Dan Schneider. There have been numerous Twitter accounts that impersonate Amanda and ask for money or share random details about the conservatorship, and it's impossible to know if one of the accounts is actually her or not. A cryptic message that was apparently left by Amanda Bynes.
D-A-N Dan D-I-D Dan did it.
Detailed by NT Lawyer, reads out in capital letters, Dan did it. This could just be celebrity gossip, but it's oddly specific and sometimes correct. Celebrity.
Let's see. So every single one is capitalized. Yeah, that was intentional.
Of course it was.
I think this is intentional.
But
What
you
guys...
have the T at the very end of light capitalized. That 100% is intentional. capital D right here when there doesn't need to be a capital I right next to it.
Thing.
It's intentional.
Yeah, like I mean, 100%. Because like everything else, like there's no other. Yeah, this is 100%. I could see it. Yeah, DANDIDIT. Right. There you go. Yeah, 100%.
Gossip, but it's oddly specific and sometimes correct. However, at the bottom of Crazy Days and Nights website, there is a disclaimer that states, the site publishes rumors, conjecture, and fiction. In addition to accurately reported information, certain situations, characters, and events portrayed in the blog are either products of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. Information on this site may contain errors or inaccuracies, so there's...
I hate that. I hate how people sometimes they have a platform for this kind of stuff. And then they're like, yeah, anything that we say could just be fake, as if that's like a disclaimer. Yeah, defamation armor. Yeah, that should not be possible. I don't like that at all. It's like, it's so obvious what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's so obvious. Who's that? Number, thanks for subs. I'll be right back. So I saw fucking, you know, like that clip of like Zeppela talking about me doing the Final Fantasy shit. I looked and it has 250 comments and it got posted like a few hours ago. That raise your chair sure looks good. Hashtag ad. True. Here we go.
Nothing really to make of this. It's up for
Okay.
debate whether or not...
Nah, bro, like,
I remember that, man. I remember when Jamie Lynn Spears got pregnant. I was so upset because I had a huge crush on Jamie Lynn Spears in high school. Huge crush. It was like my heart was broken when I found out that she got pregnant. And it was actually rumored, right, that one of like the directors or something or a producer was the one that got her pregnant. Right? Right, yeah, it's super dark and like it's so twisted, right? Like I think people were thinking back in the day that it was like Dan Snyder that got her pregnant, and they tried to find a way to brush that under the rug, where they just like found a just a random boyfriend for her and be like, okay, well, this is what's gonna happen. You got her pregnant, this is your child, and so forth. Yeah. I remember people were saying that it was crazy.
That. Like, oh, it's a disclaimer. Nah, bro. Like, that's not it. What? No, I didn't wash my hands, dude. Why do I wash my hands, man? I got a clean dick.
Aspen. Bro, do you need to wash your hands when you... So you mean to tell me, Aspen, you don't wash your hands at all when you go to the restroom? So you're one of them, huh? Guys, I'm gonna tell you a story. I went to this Chinese... Let me zoom this in. I went to this Chinese buffet, right? Really good food. Really good food. And right when I sat down, the waitress asked for my what I want to drink. Told them a Dr. Pepper. And while she went to get my Dr. Pepper, I just went to the restroom to use the restroom and wash my hands. Right? Tell me why, while I was going in there doing my business, there was a guy in the stall taking a shit, right? And the man finally finished and literally got out the stall and left. Didn't even wash his hands or nothing. So I was like, I hope this guy's leaving. Like, leaving the place. Washed my hands and everything. I was done. I saw this dude on the fried rice section. The fried rice. Getting some food. I love fried rice. And I was so mad that he was getting it because that dude didn't wash his hands while he was taking a shit. Oh, I went on my tangent.
Jamie Lynn Spears had to quit Zoe 101 after becoming pregnant in 2007 and ending the show in 2008. NT Lawyer, an anonymous blogger who runs the site Crazy Days and Nights, alleges that a producer is actually the father of Jamie Lynn Spears' child, who is old enough to be her grandfather, and that new boyfriends are being lined up as we speak. This was 2 months before she announced her pregnancy. Being lined up.
No way, bro. Like that. No fucking way.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking, no fucking way.
Yeah, man, it was true.
Oh, watch it. Go about make her feel you're pregnant, which is they don't need any more which is causing the producers to have a heart attack because they don't really need any more scandals. But wait, there's more. One of the producers who's old enough to be her grandfather shouldn't be having a heart attack because of shock because he's the one who knocked. Oh, fuck. So he didn't imply it. He just said it.
Yeah, he said it.
Oh, my God. He just fucking said that. Is Hollywood, are you really that surprised? People do degenerate shit all over the place. Hollywood isn't special. It's just that that's the one that people know about the most. People do degenerate shit like this everywhere.
Up as we speak. This was 2 months before she announced her pregnancy. One conspiracy is that Dan Schneider is the father of her child. Others believe it is another producer at Nickelodeon. Some denounce this conspiracy entirely, but it's certainly interesting.
Imagine all the other producers that like know this stuff's going on and just being silent about it.
March 26, 2018. Dan and his production team, Schneider's Bakery, are let go from Nickelodeon with a severance package of $7 million.
Great,
because
good. Get them the
why
fuck
not?
out.
Nickelodeon and Schneider said in a joint statement, since several Schneider's Bakery projects are wrapping up, both sides agreed that this is a natural time for Nickelodeon and Schneider's Bakery to pursue other opportunities and projects. There are two reasons why Nickelodeon cut ties with Dan Schneider: declining ratings and or allegations against him.
I wonder which one was more important. You know? Like, yeah, I wonder... it's too far. Does it make it right because it's Hollywood? What kind of defense is that, bro? Wait, I didn't... No, I never said that. Like, I never even implied that. I didn't say anything that was even remotely close to being thought as that. All I said is that, yes, it's Hollywood, what do you expect? And all I said was that this kind of behavior happens everywhere. Whenever I was in high school, there were girls that were dating their 32-year-old manager at Pizza Hut. Like, this happens everywhere. This isn't special for Hollywood. It's just because you know about it.
Yeah. That's very true. Right, I remember I had an ex, right, who dated somebody 3 times her age. She was in high school. Like, she was like 14, 15 years old, dating a guy that was like 38. How that man didn't go to jail? Right? It's just things like that. You know, it's obviously it's all around the world. Stuff like that is very, very common, right? But in Hollywood, it's just people are under a microscope because there's cameras, media, like always on them, right? So that's why it gets blown out of proportion. So that's what Aspen's just trying to say.
Out it. And you see these people, it has a much bigger spotlight on it. But the truth is, this could be happening in your own backyard. Yeah, I mean, this shit happens everywhere, man.
incredibly easy to hate Dan Schneider. Whether it be having teens deliver adult jokes, sexualizing young stars,
Yeah.
or blasting feet over everyone's social media
Holy
feed, no one
shit.
from Nickelodeon has come forward with direct allegations. It is actually impressive how
But here's the thing. I feel like if someone talks about it, like reports them, do they get in trouble for knowing about it for so long? Right? It's interesting to think about.
how many dead ends and
There's
links
some food for
surround this
thought.
story.
Yeah.
This is either the biggest Hollywood secret that has been kept under wraps, or the result of a deranged but not criminal man and internet dogpiling. But deleting thousands of tweets and videos can
This
only
music,
mean-
that music's so eerie right there. That just gave me chills. I gotta rewind that. That really gave me chills. And like how they have it like this.
But the truth is, this could be
One
shit.
from Nickelodeon has come forward with direct allegations. It is actually impressive how many dead ends and links surround this story.
Yeah.
This is either the biggest Hollywood secret that has been kept under wraps, or the result of a deranged but not criminal man and internet dogpiling. But deleting thousands of tweets and videos can only mean one thing. What is he hiding?
That's crazy.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my. Oh my god, bro.
That's wild.
This is a sinister ending. Yeah, this is some psycho ass shit.
Yeah. That.
I'm gonna be real. Like this shit was
That
like
was very
Foot
dark.
Network. Yeah, it's just childhood and there goes my childhood, bro.
I
watching
know.
Ed, and Eddie.
He said he was watching Ed and Eddie. He was on the Cartoon Network train, man. And I was on the Cartoon Network. I was on Disney. I was on Nickelodeon, Kids WB. I did not discriminate. You know, I needed it all.
That like I don't need to worry about this shit. I was over there watching Ed, and Eddie chilling, man. Like none of that shit happened.
At Nickelodeon.
It's just this shit's so creepy, man. It's
Yeah.
so scary. Like this could happen. Those Ariana Grande caps are so unsettling. Yeah, like I actually
That was the main one that got me, was the Ariana Grande videos, right? Like he knew what he was doing, telling her to do that. That was very perverse.
there are very few things that I
And so here's the thing too, right? Men, that guy, right? Not men, but he really sexualized feet. Dan Snyder did, right? And there's a lot of crazy people in this world that are sexualized with they get turned on by feet, right? And so you knowingly do that. Oh boy, man, that's a
I
rabbit
have a
hole all
hard
in
time
itself.
watching. But like the Ariana Grande part, like I don't know where it was. I'm not gonna watch it again. But like this shit, like I could not do that. Like that was so hard for me to watch that. It's fucking weird, man. It was uncomfortable. Yeah, I didn't link it. It's scary as fuck. No, you have to link it. Like this is Fillion. This is the same guy that did the Bored Apes video. These videos are fucking amazing,
Yeah,
man.
Fillion does
Like,
some good
it's-
stuff.
This is actual fucking investigation. Like imagine actually doing work and looking into something and just this is a W. Watch the steak video. I'll watch the steak video, but then after that I want to watch the Channel 5 and like get a few other.
Yeah. That was it was disgusting. The dark ages of Nickelodeon. Oh, man. Oh no. No. What's Charles talking about right here? Why does he think this? This is gonna be a good movie.
I don't usually post a video this late into the evening, but right now I'm like a movie theater toilet. I am fuming. I am absolutely steaming.
What? Are you that mad off the game? I'm personally happy. Chiefs won. It was a good game. Eagles fought hard.
Because of how the Super Bowl just ended. I watch every Super Bowl, and in this one I didn't really have a horse in the race. I'm neither a Chiefs nor Eagles fan. I just wanted to be entertained. And for the majority of the game,
Were you
I
not
was
entertained?
thoroughly
I was about to say.
entertained. It was just a great game. Both teams putting on an incredible performance, going wacko mode, insano style.
Yeah, they went
tying
sicko
it
mode right there.
35-35. And just like the first Spider-Man movie when he fought Bonesaw, when Bonesaw was ready, we had 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime. And it was coming down to the wire, an absolute ass greaser. The Chiefs were driving down the field. They make it to the red zone. It's getting
He's
a
gonna
little
talk about
dicey
the
for the
penalty.
Eagles. Fans spilling their beer all over themselves
Talk
in
about the penalty.
anticipation
We
and
already
fear,
know.
but the Eagles are putting up an incredible defensive stand. And then in the most crucial moment of the entire game, with less than 2 minutes remaining in this tie game, a penalty was called for holding against the Eagles, which lost them the game. One single bad call decided the outcome of the Super Bowl at the very end, which is what has led the majority of people who watch this game to call rigged, say the refs are all paid off, and say that it's all just part of the script. Because right now there's a tinfoil nipple clamp conspiracy theory that floats around that a lot of people genuinely believe that sports are rigged. Or rather scripted. I actually do agree that there is rigging to a certain level with the refs. I do think there is real corruption there. But let me just opine on the scripting thing real quick. I think that's a load of dirty barnacles. I think that is just a fat load of fish paste. I don't think sports are scripted at all.
They're
That's
not.
kind of an unhinged belief.
Think how calculated an organization has to be to script games, right? That's easier said than done. Like, really think about that.
But I do think the refs are corrupt. It's not just football, it's basketball as well. This entire year has really shown me since I got back into watching sports live.
I mean, they're human.
I have seen so many awful officiating moments that I can
Humans
find
make
no other
mistakes.
explanation besides just malicious corruption. And this is the most blatant example. The holding call, I can't show you any clips because obviously it's the fucking Super Bowl. If I even showed you a still image of it, I'm sure Roger Goodell of the NFL would come to my house personally and fucking slap me around and then hit me over the head with a fucking sledgehammer. So I can't show you anything, but if you watch the Super Bowl, you immediately know the call. The call was on the Eagles for holding. The receiver was going out, and the Eagles defender...
The guy actually did hold. It was a hold. When the receiver did an in and out route, when he did his whip route, that is where the hold happened. The first initial hold. Right? After that, he didn't hold. So, people are saying, well, if that was the case, why didn't he throw the flag there? Maybe he was trying to. Maybe he didn't get a grip on it. Maybe he got the grip after the guy released. Things happen.
Lightly touched him, like on the hip. It was a light touch and like a slight jersey tug that could have even been like accidental. It was so gentle. Like the way he treated the receiver is the way a mother would treat a newborn baby. It was so light and caring. There was no holding at all on the play. And Patrick Mahomes threw up a stinky meatball of a pass that was just uncatchable regardless for the receiver that it was intended for. But they still threw the flag and called holding on the Eagles, which gave the Chiefs a first down and also just gave them plenty of time to run out the clock, kick a field goal, win the game. It was decided by that call. It was the most crucial moment of the game, and the call instantly ended it pretty much on the spot. And under no circumstances is that acceptable. Regardless of what team you were rooting for, I'm sure all of us can recognize that this is a complete wet fart of an ending to an otherwise amazing game. We just got the bad ending to this one, unfortunately. The biggest sporting event that America has to offer is decided by the refs instead of the players. That's pathetic. That's awful. In a situation like this, I think they should go to the replays and be 100% sure that there is truly a penalty worthy of being called.
They have that. They have that. Back then, you could challenge penalties, right? That was a challenge thing. Where I want to say it was around 2017, 2018, one of those years. They did a little trial season of challenging penalties. That was a thing.
In a situation like this, it's a terrible look for the sport, and it's embarrassing overall. They should have 100% held the refs to a higher standard here. Oh, we're under 2 minutes to play, and this call is going to decide the outcome of the game. Everyone knew it. The second that call was made, even the commentators were like, oh, I don't agree with that one. Eek. That's a bit spicy. That's a no good. We don't like that. The commentators were outspoken about how bad the call was. In a situation where it is that crucial, they need to go back to the drawing board, check everything, and 100% be sure that this is a call that needs to be made. Because in this situation, it wasn't. It's a bad call. It's just straight up a shitty call. Even if you're the biggest Chiefs fan in the world, you got your Chiefs butt plug dialed all the way up to maximum turbo settings. It's vibrating in your colon. You're super excited they won. In the back of your mind, you know that it's a pretty upsetting ending. I'm sure you would have
I'm not upset at all. I'm actually very happy that the game ended like that. I'm satisfied. Oh man, Patrick Mahomes got another one.
If they had actually beat them on their own merit instead of having the refs help. Because no matter how you spin it, that call decided that game at the very end. The Chiefs could have still 100% won that, but now it's always going to be left up to speculation on, well, would the Eagles have made a game-winning drive? Would the Eagles have stopped them on that red zone drive?
And I bumped into one of my brother's friend's mom, and she was just so thrilled that he had graduated.
There's so many question marks now that the win can't feel as good as it would have if the refs didn't make that call. It's a lose-lose for everybody except the refs that may have been paid off. I'm actually starting to believe that they are influenced in some way financially in order to make these awful calls. We just saw it recently in the NBA with the infamous no call against the Lakers. I'm not even going to bother going down that road right now.
That one was bad.
Fucking ranted about that on stream for quite some time, and I'm not even a goddamn Lakers fan either. I just hate how awful calls decide the outcome of the biggest games. I just think that's horrible. It's just bad. And what's even worse is there's really no incentive to be good at your job as a referee. If you do well, cool. If you do poorly, there's no repercussions. Some of the worst refs of all time are still currently refs. At the biggest, highest stage. I don't understand why they have so much leniency in situations like this, and so much power, too. This is a call that should have been thoroughly looked under with a microscope 1,000 times. Bring in a third-party investigation unit for...
Well, with that being said, they'll probably get back to that where they're going to start replaying penalties. I could see them going back to that.
For this call tonight. Have them double-check. Bring out a fucking forensics team. I don't care. It's the biggest call of that game. In the most crucial moment of the entire game. Really do your due diligence to ensure that call is legitimate and necessary. Because you do not want a game to wrap up the way this one did. It causes nothing but turmoil, and it ruins the entire thing. The Super Bowl was amazing all the way up until it wasn't. At the very last 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. It's craziness. Can't believe I'm actually making a sports ranting video, but my family and I were having so much fun watching the Super Bowl, and when that call was made, collectively all of us let out an audible groan in frustration, and it took the wind out of all of our sails. None of us are Chiefs fans or Eagles fans. We didn't give a fuck who won. It was just such an amazing game, and to have it in this way is deflating. I can only imagine Philadelphia Eagles fans right now. But anyway, I just wanted to vent about all this.
Did y'all see the video of them in Philly, the fans, when they tipped over the car before the Super Bowl even started because they were so excited? That play right there that Charlie's talking about. Philly's probably Gotham City right now. I'm not even playing. Philly's the real life Gotham City right now. They probably would full blown don't care about the law, is just straight chaos. Because if you're tipping over legit vehicles, literally turning them upside down, y'all look at the videos, it's insane.
Also, I'll tackle one more thing that I've already seen pop up a lot, where it's like, no, it's technically a holding no matter what. I mean, I just disagree. Like, even with the way the rule's written and the way that it's typically enforced, it still doesn't seem like a hold. His movement really wasn't impeded at all, and the ball was still pretty uncatchable anyway, so it's not like it would have had a huge impact on the outcome of that play in particular. So even if you want to argue that technically it's a hold, it's still a call that doesn't need to be made, especially given the magnitude of the game, because that call ends the game on the spot when you make it. This was the most important moment of the game. This was pivotal. And that call being made instantly decides the outcome of the entire game. Their fate was sealed the second they threw that penalty. So I don't think that it needed to be made, nor should it have been, because I don't think any games should be decided by a penalty like that. It's fucking pathetic. It's laughable, really. And that's why a lot of people are screaming rigged, because it did decide the winner of this match. No matter how you argue it, they won immediately off of that call. So it's just a real shame. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about all of that. That's about it. See ya.
I mean, I don't think they automatically won off the call. Obviously, the Chiefs had to keep getting yards. They had to keep gaining yards. So things like that happen in football. Right, defense just have to step up and finish the game, right? They still had a chance to stop them from getting in that field goal range to kick the field goal. Well, someone made another DK Oldies video. Okay. Probably got one game in us. Maybe. Before I have to go to bed, I have to wake up early. No, I probably shouldn't though. It's about to be 11. And I gotta get up at 6 a.m. That's not gonna be good. Alright guys, I'm probably just gonna jump off. I think that's the most adult thing I need to do tonight. I'll probably get on. Maybe tomorrow, we'll see. I'll see you guys later.